The following is a presentation of iRacing on PTR TV. We'd like to thank all of our channel partners for their support. Please like and subscribe to the channel, and we hope you enjoy today's broadcast. The first super speedway in stock cars was built in rural South Carolina. Back in the 1950s, Harold Brasington had a dream to build a speedway, and he did just that. Had to omit turn number 4 because of the famous minnow pond, giving it its famous egg shape. Darlington has been one of the few tracks to hold a NASCAR race since its inception. The Lady in Black, Too Tough to Tame, whatever you want to call it. That's where the area guys are going to be racing here tonight. And who can keep it off the wall and evade the stripe to get the trophy? Let's find out together. Welcome everybody to PTR TV for today's coverage of the Area Truck Series. It's going to be round number 7 here for 120 circuits here around Darlington. Gonna be myself, Corey Silva, in the booth and in the production truck, of course, with Mr. Brad Dalton here to help me out with the call. So Brad, the Lady in Black, known as Throwback Week, and I believe we're doing it here today. So we're not gonna know who's who, but we're gonna see some cool paint schemes and probably see a lot of Darlington stripes.
Yeah, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Darlington Stripes Throwback Week. I couldn't ask for anything better here in Area Truck. This is going to be a good one to go through. This is a track that I sometimes have a hard time personally kind of wrapping my head around. So I know if I have a hard time with it, even other drivers have a hard time with it. And that's just, let's be honest, I don't have the same skill level as these drivers, but I know it's going to be a fun one. I've seen lots of good races at Darlington. It's going to be fun, Corey.
Exactly that. Here is again round number 7 here in the trucks. Last week we headed to another track in the Carolinas known to wear the tires out, known to be very, very difficult, the Rockingham Speedway. And now here today, headed a little bit south into the other South Carolina for today's efforts. But practice is underway now, and we do have the points to go over, Brad, something that we really haven't followed in great detail here this season. But our points after round number 6 at the Rock, you can see Brian Mercurio up by 13 points over Peyton Howell, with Garrett Conrath, Jordan Coons, and Ryan Andrew top 5. You can see very, very tight from 4th all the way to 10th there.
Yeah, this is a very, very closely contested field, especially considering where we're at in the season. We're officially halfway done, if I'm not mistaken, as we go through. So, I mean, we're in a good position here. Race 7 of the season coming through, and this is going to be past the halfway point of the regular season. So playoffs are in order, and these guys are going to have to really keep it together to maintain their position all the way through.
Exactly that. Here is some difficult tracks coming up on the schedule. We're heading to a road course in a few weeks back at Coda, and then of course, well, where more difficult do you get than Darlington from an oval perspective? But these guys will start heading out and qualifying. One thing about these area qualifying sessions, you get 1 lap to do what you got to do, and we will be sending some drivers home. I know we are over 43 plus here, and I think we only start about 40, so some people will be not started this race, heading back on the truck here, as we have a Bobby Hamilton throwback, I believe, with Tanner Bethea there.
Yeah, Tanner Bethea, beautiful throwback there. A lot of cars through the field. Man, you can tell that I took 2 weeks off. A lot of trucks through the field have a very, very good look that I'm enjoying. There is Brian Mercurio, current points leader, who is bringing things around, looking pretty good here. And we'll be going through Sebastian Marin starting the lap. And I'm just curious how everyone is going to do here in qualifying. How close to the wall do you dare to get in qualifying?
Exactly that. We'll see indeed the case. I guess I didn't do throwback graphics here today. Maybe I should do throwback music here for qualifying and risk our copyright status here. But Sebastian Marin goes top of the board here. Actually, you know what? Let's do it. Let's go do some
brave
NASCAR on CBS here. Let's do some old school music here because that's what these guys are doing. AJ Stravato, he's going to do a 29.65. That'll put him fourth on the provisional pylon here. And who else do we got? Mr. Philip Groner, someone to always watch out for. And running on the bottom of the track through turn number 4. And let's see what he can muster.
Yeah, and Philip Groner here coming through across the line, 29.475. I know we've got several end of lines to go through the race tonight. Trying to keep my eye on if there's anyone to go home, but I know end of lines we can talk about during warm-up because there are several of them, and I'm curious to see how the drivers let that affect their race, as it seems like right now, or affect their qualifying, because it seems like right now everybody is doing a pretty good job of keeping it together.
Yeah, I'll be surprised to see if some of these drivers turning laps do not get stuck with 0 lap, and that's quite the risk here at Darlington there, Brad, because if you scrape that wall, your lap is invalidated, and if you only have 1 lap and you're on the go and go home list, that basically means you just cost yourself a chance to race tonight.
Yeah, and the best way to say it is it's just heartbreaking when you're in that position. And also, just as an update for everyone, only 1 truck will be going home today. So we will see 1 truck going home at the end of this qualifying session. It's just a matter of who when it's all said and done. So we'll wait and give them time to get their laps through. Travis Beckner, 29.550. Currently, slowest time is a 30.0 and fastest time is a 29.3.
Exactly that. So these times are pretty tight, and you know what that does? Makes it a lot harder to pass, Brad. Whenever you are going the same speed, I mean, we talk about this in the next gen about the Talladega. When everyone's going the same speed, it's very, very hard to pass. These times are so tight, and obviously Darlington, only about a lane and a half to play with here. And when these times are going to be so tight, aero push definitely coming in. These guys are going to use a lot of strategy and using that tire fall off probably to make these passes and get through the field.
Talking about tire fall off, it's going to be more like tire off the side of the Grand Canyon when this race is all said and done. That tire fall off can be so significant here as we watch everyone coming through, continuing to find times. Gabe Herschel's coming through. Hey, is that a PTR TV truck?
Yeah,
Hold on. Casey Lucatus. Is that what I see there?
Yeah, he's always the one that gets the brownie points here. Who do we got here? This looks so familiar. That has to be like a Dollar General vibe, but I don't know who drives a Dollar General truck. So,
oh my gosh, where is Andre when we need him? Andre could tell us all of these things. Yes. I know. I'm about tempted to call him and say, "Hey, Andre, get in here. We need your." We need his encyclopedia of 90s and 2000s NASCAR knowledge.
I know the facts, the paint schemes, I don't remember, but a good lap here from Seth Noel. Not going to be the pole, but it's going to put him in the top 5, quite literally in the 5th position. Sean Farr is not going to be taking any time or he's just going to try to qualify dead last, either of the two here, but that's going to end qualifying here. And then we will head into a warm-up. So that gives us an opportunity to thank everyone for tuning in here to PTR TV. If you're on the YouTube side, make sure you like, share, comment, subscribe, have some fun in chat here today with us. If you're on Facebook, well, you can do just the same. And of course, if you're watching on Twitch, consider subscribing to the Area iRacing Twitch. You can get your custom emotes there and earn double points if you do subscribe for $5 a month. That can earn you even some free merch in the long run. Again, on the Twitch side of things, consider subscribing there, and we will get our final list here, Brad, of who is going home, and we'll just get these guys a couple laps in the warm-up before we get going tonight.
Yeah, warm up always a fun time because you tend to see the trucks run their way back out, get comfortable and warm up and be running through. 08 wrecked on his go or go home lap.
Just talked about that.
Info handy.
Just talked about that. I love when I talk about actually happens, Brad. It makes me feel smart. I know it doesn't happen very often. Oh, who's this? Who is this? I know this one. This is
Gosh, who is this?
This is Jack Sprague's Quaker State truck that he drove in the initiation of the truck series in about 1995. Someone tell me I'm wrong, but I'm feeling it. I know Connor. I'm in a Discord with Connor, so if I'm wrong, he can tell me afterwards, but I'm almost positive.
I can tell you right now, YouTube chat is really giving us a lot of info on who's who. So, Brendan Ride with a different hood. The 77 is a Travis Capel throwback.
What did you just say? Tell me you know road racing as your primary road racing without telling me you know road racing as your primary racing. That's Travis Quapple.
Yeah.
That.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Oh, Brad,
Quapple.
test. Who's this one?
Well,
this takes you back to about 1999 till 2000 in the Cup Series. I'm going to give you a hint. His name, it rhymes with Bike Renner. Still?
You can tell that my brain is just blank today. It's Mike.
The answer is now in our lights. It's Mike Skinner. Again, it's even the inverse because he drove the 31. And oh
my gosh.
So don't expect you
I should be banned from throwback weeks.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, is what that is. But yeah, there's going to be a couple I don't know. They look familiar. I just can't pinpoint it. But all in all, obviously, we're looking forward to a very, very fun night of racing. Just 2 minutes left. And we did get, I think it was the one going home. I'm just trying to read our list really quick here. Oh, wait,
yeah, I'm double checking myself. So the 8 and the 15 both wrecked, and they're D and Qs.
The 0, 8, and the 15. Yeah, there's a distinction because we do have a 0, 8, and an 8. Yeah. So don't want to send some of our fans into a frenzy thinking that Ryan Andrews missed it. Because Ryan Andrews is one that very well could win this race currently, as we'll just bring up our list on the ticker of where they stand in warm-up. Just gives you a little indication. You can see how tight those times are. Sebastian Marin, usually we don't see him in the truck series. Usually he is our Xfinity leader there, but you can see he ran that's the last lap. You can see right there a 29:32. A couple drivers in the 3s, a lot of guys in the 4s, a lot of guys in the 5s. So again, we'll be taking a gander on how quickly these guys will fall off with the tires and what kind of strategies that represents, because 120 laps, 4 sets of tires on an abrasive track, Brad, that brings out the strategist in all these drivers, knowing we're probably going to have a modest amount of cautions and you're not going to be able to pit upon every single one of them.
Yeah, I don't expect any truck to try to pit every single time. I see this going one of two ways. Lots of cautions and just split the race up into about 35 lap segments and be smart about when you pit, or the race is going to run long and green flag pit stops are going to become a whole nother problem. Either way, I could see it going either way. That's the thing with areas. They're very clean. I could see them running a whole race without a caution or with minimal cautions, or I could see it, being an absolute dumpster fire. So I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, we saw Rockingham last week, Brad. We didn't even make it to I don't think we even made it to the start-finish line before we had about a 10-truck wreck, and we couldn't get going for more than about 5 laps, and then all of a sudden we ran about 70 green. Darlington usually is of the same flavor, so we'll see what happens here today. But that is the end of warm-up. We will head down trackside in a matter of moments for our starting lineup. Of course, our starting lineup brought to you by Central Mobile Homes. Central Mobile Homes, looking for a small or large home, a new shed, or a triple crown trailer? Look no further than Central Mobile Homes. They've been proudly serving Florida customers for 29 years with a plethora of small and large home floor plans. plans, shed designs, and Triple Crown trailers. Available in LaBelle, Okeechobee, Clewiston, and Sebring. Head to centralmobilehomeinc.com for all of your info. But Brad, let's head down trackside, and we'll give them that ESPN Speed World starting lineup here today from Darlington.
And getting our starting lineup underway here, it is Brian Mercurio, who is going to be taking on pole position, no surprise there, with Sebastian Marin with the correct flag in second. Jake Fisher in third, and Timmy Pacioli in P number 4. From there, we're going fifth place. And fifth place on the day is Seth Noel, with Ryan Andrew finding P number 6. From there, we're going seventh place. Matthew Batby and Jake Nichols will find P8. And rounding out row number 5, Peyton Howe and Philip Groner.
11th finds Mr. Jordan Kuntz. He's up there in the point standings. Connor Horn in the Dex Sprague Mobile in 12th. Jonathan Evans, looks like that is a Truex style scheme. Danny Ware in 14th. 15th finds Ron Hornaday, aka Rocky Boyd, with the number 16 truck, number 16th truck. That makes sense. Jalen Handcamp. 17th is our flagman at Hendry County, Travis Beckner. Alex Chilcutt in 18th. 19th and 20th, Tanner Love, and then Mason Kane, our Daytona winner.
From there, we're going 21st. Justin Anasogak in that number 88 with Brad Slaughter Jr. in 22nd. There's Trey Edson in 23rd with Joshua Ballet in 24th. 25th, we'll find Ricky Springer, not Jerry Springer, but Ricky Springer in the Toyota, themed Toyota, and AJ Stravato in 26. Garrett Grant in 27th. Gary Waterworth in 28th. And then from there, 29, Lane Doyle and Bryce Sinasak in P number 30.
And we'll let the rest of them scroll by because they tend to usually be wrong with the EOLs and oh my god, why? Good thing I don't work a corporate job anymore because I don't know acronyms to save my life. But here we go with the end of the starting lineup here, and you'll know where your drivers have run. I think we said the 08 and the 15 are the ones that are hitting the hay here from the Darlington Raceway. Our race details here today are 120 laps. Again, no stages. Everything here is pretty much par for the course here in area. 120 laps, no stages, 4 sets of tires, 100% fuel. Again, our fixed sets and our weather conditions here from virtual Darlington. 76 in the air, 95 track. I will say, in recent terms, Brad, that's actually probably the coolest track tip we've seen in weeks. And a 13-mile-an-hour wind, just to throw a little wrench into things.
You never really think that wind is going to cause any sort of issues in NASCAR, but it really does. It's kind of interesting how the wind can actually affect things through corners. It's so weird. And, you know, I just drove through a thunderstorm earlier, and like, I drive a Subaru Crosstrek, and it buffers really bad in the wind on the interstate. And these trucks, surprisingly, are similar size to a Subaru Crosstrek, maybe a little bit less surface area in the back, but they're going to buffer. They're going to feel that wind, and it can upset the trucks in ways that these drivers may not expect. So 13-mile-an-hour wind may not seem like a lot in your head, but they're going to feel it in these trucks, especially when they're diving into the corner on corner entry.
Here you are using the word buffer, and I'm thinking your car isn't loading fast enough. But oh yeah, it does have alternate verbiage there. Gotta love the English language. The 82 truck, that is someone already said it in chat, but I believe it to be a Brian Vickers throwback there in that number 82. And of course, Sebastian Merritt, he is lights out in the Florida Estate Builders Pro Series on Thursday nights, and has some fun on some off Tuesdays, and he is going to have some fun here today. See what he could do. There is someone pulling on to the bottom there. That's Seth Noel, but we're going to have about 42 trucks strong taken to the 1.366 mile circuit here in Darlington, South Carolina. Race number 7 here. As the season progresses, the storylines increase, and let's head to the hardest track on the schedule and have a night of fun. Pace truck pulls into the safety of pit road. Barney has the flag in hand, heading into the Geico restart zone to get tonight's festivities underway. Let's get on the loud pedal. Let's go racing here at Darlington.
Bringing bringing it across the line down into turn one. Trucks are going to keep it 2x2 here as they go, looking nice and comfortable coming around now, coming out of turn number 2, and everybody's still side by side. That top line, really on that top line though, mid-pack there, they're starting to spread out a little bit into 3. It is still a drag race up front between Marin and Mercurio, as Marin has managed to get the best of Mercurio and will lead lap 1 over the pole sitter.
You go one successful lap here around the Darlington Raceway. Everybody's going to get themselves filed on in. Marin gets the whole shot on this lap, and then second place will be Mr. Jake Fisher. Mercurio falls back to the 3rd spot, but this is where the positions have to swap. It's a lot easier to run the top through 3 and 4. I'll cut that thought off because something is going astray down the back straightaway. I see 2 wrecks happening. Tyler Hallman having issues, and then AJ Stravato, but all the while we stay under green flag conditions.
Yeah, and that's the thing with the iRacing service, is that if someone is off the racing line, off the racing surface, it doesn't throw a caution. And was that a little bit of, that was a weird connection moment for the 13?
That was just a straight little boom bop there to the back there as they tried to find their different perspectives through the corner. This is Tyler Hallman. He had issues off of 2, and he just wiggled himself down. But as we said, the way that Darlington is, you know, the algorithmic world here of iRacing that we work in, if you spin off the racing surface, Barney lets it go. And you can see there's like 8 different lanes of pavement here. About 3 of them are the racetrack, so there's a lot of non-racing surface here that allows a lot of wrecks to happen that will just go through the wayside.
Yeah, and Barney just doesn't want to work at Darlington, let's be real here, and I kind of don't blame him because this track can really keep things going. Continuing lap 5 here, Corey, and everybody keeping it nice and pretty. Sebastian Marin's gotten to the lead. Brian Mercurio down into 3rd now, so he has managed to drop down the order a bit, which, I mean, dropping to 3rd isn't a lot, but hey, whenever you were the pole sitter, you're the points leader, and you drop down to 3rd right off a race start, not always the best thing to see as he continues along here, and we hop on board with him for a lap.
Now onboard telemetry by Whiplash. It's going to be a long night, Brad.
Whiplash webcam.
Yeah, that too. You can see 155 miles an hour. Not a lot of fall off on the speed there. You can see up to about 175, about pushing 180. Enter in turn number 3. Some drivers later in the run will consider shifting through 3 and 4. You lose enough RPMs there, hard enough on the binders that it's risky. You can really get yourself in a difficult spot, but if you do it right, you can actually make some speed shifting in turn number 3. But we go 7 laps clean. Look at that number 86, Timmy Pacioli, in that number 86 car in the 5th spot, truck rather, Ryan Andrew. And just look at that conga line. That is the longest snake you've seen in quite some time, I imagine.
Yeah, it really is. As we go through, watch that 89 try to dive down, keep things clear there for Ryan Andrew, just barely staying off the bumper as they go along here. That 86, that Coast to Coast Sim Racing, they've had a good run this season so far. They're doing very good, and I gotta say, they have 3 in the top 5, so very clearly Coast to Coast are feeling pretty good today, I'd say. 82, 84, 86. They're just missing the 80. Gabe Herschel needs to be a little bit further up there if he could find his way forward. He's currently floating back in P38, which, granted, there's still plenty of time. Gabe may be able to work his way up as the race goes, but Coast to Coast has 3 in the top 5. They got to be enjoying it.
Number of the 1,000-pound lifting club. I didn't write that one, so I didn't know humans were capable of lifting that much weight, but what do you know? So he's back there in that 38th spot. Tanner Bethea, we talked about him a little bit earlier. His paint, that Bobby Hamilton era Kodak throwback there. He's in the mid-20s, just kind of scrolling through the field through some drivers we usually don't focus on. You know, good battles all over the track. There is Justin Anasogak there in the Dale Jr. throwback of sorts, I do believe. That number 88, very, very vibrantly colored. I don't remember what era that was, but I'm assuming it was one. There's Alex Chilcutt and the 19 of Trey Edson. Trey Edson, I saw him in our Sim 500 series a few weeks ago that we cover here on Monday nights, or Brad does.
Yeah, he's going through looking pretty good there as he tries to go around. Battles still forming up as Napa know-how. How do you know Napa knows how? Well, Napa knows how to put a Darlington stripe up and go up on the high line and try to get a pass done here around this track. Ride the high line we go with the 35 down low. Rocky Balboa trying to throw the haymakers around the high line, but has to settle it back in single file. Light little baby wiggle off of two, but catches it, holds on to it, and brings it around here. Currently, we're almost a second a lap in tire drop off here, Corey, and we're only 11 laps in. So the fact that we're almost a second a lap into tire drop off is a little bit ridiculous, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, if this does stay green, that'll bring into play the kind of road racing style strategies where you really have to plan the fall off, the undercut. How long do you want to stay out? Do you risk the caution? Do you run the fuel load? Do you want to plan the extra stop knowing that you can gain the time? You just, all those strategies where you really hope and wish that you have a human spotter helping you, as some of them do. Some guys do have actual people helping them out. Other guys are just using the iRacing spotter, maybe a third-party app, or maybe just the old noggin. But those strategy races certainly are fun and difficult to call, let alone doing it from the driver's seat.
You can say that again. Sometimes those strategy calls are so make or break, and doing it in the driver's seat is one thing, but all of these drivers, here's the good thing about this. You're working in teams here in area, you're not just running solo. So you can kind of lean on your team a little bit to figure things out here, Corey, and that can sometimes make your life a little bit easier because your team can take some of that mental load off of you trying to calculate out where to go when, what position to be in, when to do this, when to do that, and sort of, everyone can go together. It also gives you people to pit with. That's the other big thing that it'll give, is whenever you say, hey, we need to pit, everyone just pits together.
Well, sometimes that's a blessing, sometimes that's a curse, depending on the tracks. And obviously, drafting style tracks you want to here at Darlington, and it's something that we will bring up later in our event, if not right now. But Darlington is certainly, it's debatable, but I would say I put a pretty good bit wagering that this is the toughest pit road in stock car racing, the way that it is. We'll kind of go on board here with Mr. Trey Edson. And just look to the left of the racetrack. You have to go all the way down to the flat there. We'll even turn the ticker off. Looking from the driver's perspective, look, there's the pit. You have to turn off the banking, drive down about 7 lanes, and try to nail that cone. There's multiple ways to do it. Some are very risky, some are rather conservative, but as we know, if you're conservative, you're leaving time on the table.
Yeah, but sometimes smooth is fast and conservative can be safe and fast. So it'll be interesting to see if any of the drivers decide to go with that conservative approach. I would not be surprised to see that, because here's the thing, is in order to finish first you have to finish, and if you been it trying to pit in, then well, you're not finishing, so it doesn't really matter at that point. So you really should play it smart on the pits here. Lap 17 of 120 as we continue along, and everybody's looking really smooth here. The field just, I don't know about you, but this is just a big old conga line. I feel like we're about to start having some line dancing going on here. Apparently that's a big popular thing right now, is line dancing is making a comeback. So somebody's going to start line dancing here for Throwback Week. I don't know who.
I was going to say, I was trying to set up a Taylor Swift joke there, because you said, I don't know about you, but I couldn't get the 22 in because you were too fast there. But look at the number 82, Mercurio has caught back up to Jake Fisher for that second position, and now the challenge of the Darlington Raceway, trying to find the way around him, because I'll tell you, through 3 and 4, making a pass on the bottom is a Herculean feat. So he's going to try to go up a little bit higher, try to find that grip, maybe turn down the track. He's going to get a whale of a run, not a dolphin, a whale of a run off turn number 4. And back in the day, Brad, you lifted every time someone got side by side with you in turn 1. Jake Fisher follows that Darlington etiquette, as we call it. But I'll tell you, a lot of these guys these days, they'll run you side by side across this entire circuit.
Yeah, and side by side across a full circuit is a very, very, very dangerous time to go as we bring it around here. The one, Seth Noel getting around that 84, Jake Fisher out of 4. So there's a leapfrog up for position. Now we move things forward. We've got top 3 sitting there of Marin, Mercurio, Noel, Fisher, Pacioli. Well, I said top 3 and then I gave you the top 5. That's just where we're at with it. That number 11, the 609 Motorsports truck, going through back in P10. Philip Groner, he's got the 42 for company of Connor Horn behind. I got to wonder if these 609 guys are going to start working together and try to move their way forward, or they're just kind of happy with where they're sitting.
You see they're single file for the time being here. Connor Horn trying to find a way by a little bit of a wiggle there in that number 42 automobile off of turn number 4. You saw on the lap charts right there, they were trading laps. Marin was in the ones last time by. This time by, it's Bercario in the one. So definitely some fast laps there. Matthew Batby definitely has the NASA-powered automobile with a 1 second lap. That is just due to connectivity issues. But you can see most of these guys are in that 2 to 3 tenth of a second buffer, which obviously is making it hard to pass, as consistent as they are on the watch. But this is probably the best battle on the track. Actually, we'll go a little bit further up. There is a battle stewing. That is the number 73 of Jake Nichols, usually someone that we see higher up in the field. He's currently in the 8th position. He started 8th, still 8th, but all over the back of the Batby in the 89.
Yeah, and sticking around the back there of Batby, doing a great job of just staying there where it matters. That's the big thing, too, is Darlington is a lot about patience. You don't necessarily need to caution on the field, scratch everything I said. 22 laps, tire drop-off was already a second and a half and then some. And, well, who is this? Let's see, it's the Meals on Wheels truck.
Bobby Hamilton is not lucky and not a lucky
that's
duck.
Not a Kodak moment.
Oh, nice. Well placed. Let's see what happens here. Oh, that was the 60. A chill cut got loose, and that just caused a whole bunch of people to, I think, overreact to it. We'll get one more perspective of such. Look at that 60. Look at him loosey-goosey up at the top of the shot. And then there's the 12, the 55. Yeah, the 60 got loose. That put the 12 into reaction, into the wall, and then everybody else just nowhere to go here at the Darlington Raceway. And that puts us under our first caution here on lap 23. And all these drivers will use this as an opportunity to head to the pits. You talked about the fall off, Brad, but with 4 sets of tires, is this too early to put one on? I feel like you really have no choice, though.
I mean, you really need to.
The answer is yeah. There it goes.
The fall off is already too far that you can't not at this point. It's a second and a half fall off a lap. You can't afford to not, because if you don't, you're just doing nothing but, engage in Alicia Keys mode in the most aggressive of ways.
Which, if you don't know, that means you keep on falling. Just not in love. You just keep falling down the pylon there. But Sebastian Marin, exits the pits and retains that position. And it looks as though we still have a bunch of trucks in the pits getting damage from that incident. A couple guys got worse off than others. Of course, the 77 got the worst end of that stick via losing his back bumper. But all the while, they will come on through. We didn't get any fuel ranges here today, Brad, so that will be a guess for us. But again, we do want to thank Hendry County Motorsports Park for providing our instant replays there on the evening. Racing is back at Hendry County Motorsports Park, and you can join them. Actually, my ad read is a little outdated, so you can join them whatever this week is. Because my ad read is out to date, so I don't know exactly what's racing at Hendry County, but something is racing at Hendry County. And tickets are $20 for adults. Kids age 5 and under are free. Family pack of 4 is $25. Join them at the southernmost dirt track in North America. Oh my God, I did that entirely off the top of my head, and I forgot the last line. Join them at the southernmost dirt track in Clewiston, Florida, off Highway US 27, HendryRacing.com. Done so many of these that I actually could do the ad reads off the top of my head now.
Yeah, getting pretty good. And also, if you're wondering what's coming up for them, it's May 3rd, Top Gun Sprints, Mod Light A and B Division, 600 Micro Sprints. That's going to be a good one. And then 4.6 Fords A and B Divisions. That's going to be a good one.
87 of Jeremy Brown is running to the inside. But this is the run to the restart zone here, so not sure what that's about, but either way, there goes them on the loud pedal. Marin gets the jump, and we will run it off into turn 1.
And into turn 1 we go here with Sebastian Marin with a great takeoff there. Mercurio under pressure by Fisher. Lots of fresh tires all the way up and down the field. I don't see anyone that stayed out, so everyone going through, fresh tires all the way around. Here's a gaggle of cars. 11A6. Watch the 52 and the 99 behind. They kept it 2x2 out of 4. The whole field is just fighting it out here as they come across the line to start lap 27 of 120.
Yeah, my big call out was that 73 absolutely pounding the fence off of turn number 2 is now Ryan Andrew underneath the 73 of Jake Nichols. And look at them all struggling, and a lot of guys struggling off turn number 2 evidently.
Yeah, caution out there. You see one truck stop down low there in the Toyota as they go around. Everybody's slowing it up, and it looked like several trucks got involved in that one as we go back for a replay.
Hendry County Motorsports Park replay. And 52 having some issues. That's Peyton Howell. Peyton is someone who is pretty high up on the point standing, so this will be detrimental. Let's find out what happened. Oh, that's off of Jordan Kuntz in that 99. Kept it straight, thought they were all going to save it, but then the 52 got loose off the wall. 51, there's Anna Sogak, Opplinger, Brad Slaughter trying to figure out where to go. So not a...
Ouch.
We'll actually get a on board here, just because he had such a lot to see there. Let's go on board with Mr. Slaughter, see his perspective.
Yeah, on board and
that was worse than I thought.
Up. Yeah, that was a pretty hard hit there for Slaughter. So it looks like able to hold on to it on the brakes, on the brakes, on the brakes, on the brakes, on the brakes.
Gotta love gravity.
And good job, actually, from him to keep that together.
Yep, and he will head to the attention of his crew, and we will get him racked up, stacked up in a matter of moments. Sebastian Merritt will still be our leader. And of course, because we are under caution, let's just take another advantage of this opportunity to thank some of the other partners here that help with the area iRacing League. rickshotsauce.com. Head over to rickshotsauce.com for some of the best hot sauces made locally in South Florida. Try the Lokahatchee Classic, Golden Garlic, Palm Beach Pineapple, or South Beach Heat. Follow the Rick's Hot Sauce Rookie of the Year battle in the Area Cup Series. See which driver will take home the $100 prize as highest finishing rookie in that Area Cup Series. Again, you can watch the Area Cup Series on the IDK Player YouTube channel. John Ramos on Monday nights along with Hunter. And of course, you can stay tuned to PTR TV for here on Tuesdays and Thursdays. But again, rickshotsauce.com.
I could have used some Rick's hot sauce on my pizza tonight that I had for dinner. I'm not going to lie. Would have been pretty good.
Would have made my chicken McCrispy strips or whatever they're called a little better. Not there for us old people that remember McChicken Selects, the new chicken crispy strips at McDonald's. They're good. They're not chicken selects. So temper your expectations there. But certainly Rick's Hot Sauce would have taken them to the next level. But either way, that is one to go. We'll get doubled up, stacked up, ready to go back green flag racing here at Darlington. Ran about 25 laps green, and last 10 laps has been a little bit rough around the edges as the lady in black, or I guess more so gray, that the pavement is wearing off, because that's actually when that nickname stemmed from, the lady in black. It was around 1995 when they paved this place, and it was, fresh black pavement, so that's where they named it. But now it's kind of gray, so the lady in gray, I guess, as she's aging, but still just as tricky as ever.
You can say that again here. Quarter of the way through the race. Well, there it is. He said it. So quarter of the way through the race, though, Corey, and the lady in gray, the lady in black, she's not getting any white hairs yet. So, I mean, still pretty difficult, pretty feisty, and will reach out and fight you. Marin Mercurio on the front row. Somebody playing the Houdini card, but Marin playing the Houdini card up front. He takes off there as soon as Barney waved that flag, and, well, 2x2 into turn 2 we go.
And you can see that Mercurio gets that second spot coming off the corner. Noel trying to squeeze to the outside of Mercurio there, but it looks like the door will be shut. It has opened since. Mercurio left the open lane to the top of the racetrack, but he is going to close it there through 3 and 4. Put that number 1 truck solidly in the 3rd spot, and we'll see if anybody has something for that number 23 truck of Marin. He has just been dominating essentially every race that we've covered here on the channel. Yeah, but he's still doing that here on the evening. That number 1 is currently being battled by Mr. Jake Fisher in that silver number 84 truck. And our first side-by-side battle is all the way back there with the Lucky's Mike Skinner truck of AJ Stravato.
Yeah, and Stravato tries to get underneath the PVTR truck.
That's Josh Parrish. I did call him Justin Offliger. That is Josh Parrish. I'm used to Thursdays.
Josh Parrish running through high there in the 55. It's not a PTR TV, but a PVTR truck as he goes through. And you can see everyone again just kind of getting back into the... somebody tapping the wall there in the background off of 2, and everybody follows around. I was going to say everybody getting into the pretty single file run here, lap 33, and just sort of settling in, but that 62 decided to pull a tech slapper there and smack the wall, and looks like that pink truck there on the low side has also decided to slide it out of 4, and now is going to just drop back.
That was Tyler Hallman. Remember, he's already had some issues here today, and just adding to that list here. But up front, does look like Mercurio is holding Marin a little bit more honest this run, keeping him within about 1/10 of a second. The battle for 3rd is hot and heavy. Fisher in the 84, and are we going to go 3 wide of Darlington? Tell me that's a good idea. It's not, but it will be 2. That'll be Andrews getting to the inside of Fisher, and you can see how much room they're leaving. Absolutely none now. Ooh, Andrew, I thought he was going to try to go 2 for 1, get underneath the 1. The room in turn 2 was not there for it.
Not at all, but the 8 able to slide up there. Andrew able to get ahead of Fisher, and now needs to try to fight Noel, or this whole pack needs to just get nice and tidy single file and catch up to Marin and Mercurio if they can. But listen, you telling me to tell the driver to work with another team's driver and try to catch up to the front 2 when they could be battling for 3rd place? I can tell you what they're going to do, and it's going to be battle for 3rd place as we continue on along and around. Look at this, sticking nose to tail, nose to tail, nose to tail in these trucks as they go down. Let's go into 3 really quick and hold things through. 84 has a little bit of a run there, but then loses at mid-corner, and maybe going to try to find it on the exit, but doesn't. Still nice and pretty single file.
Still nice and single file, getting a little bit of spacing. You see some side-by-side to the very back of the field there. We'll take a gander at some other action going on here on the raceway. Justin Anasogak there. He had a little bit of kerfuffling going on earlier. I see a lot of debris flying off the corner. I think that is our blinker causing some of that. But that was Garrett Conrath in the 49. I saw him taking a stab. He does have our replay sponsor of Hendry County on his truck. You can see 4-time winner in the 4-cylinder division at Slinger. I did not know Slinger was a super speedway, but apparently it now is. But here he is to the inside of Anasogak through 1 and 2, not using the old school Darlington etiquette. Now turn 2, you can't run side by side comfortably. Someone usually has to give, or that happens.
And nobody giving there, but both trucks able to gather it up and go back into 3. And I mean, they're not done.
Yeah, they're not
done.
Wow.
How does this end? Probably not pretty, but actually, no, they keep it together. And now we're going 2 by 2.
Yep, you can see there, they're still going side by side on board with AJ Stravato here. And, well, Anasogak will lose the spot. And now they're going to go door to door off of turn number 2. Again, that's just where the problems are. 88 slaps the concrete where the steel, I guess if you want to be overly specific there. That opens the door for the 13. Trying to use the flat. Works in real life. Not so well here on the iRacing service. Bryce Senesac behind in that 09, trying to see what line he should go with. He is going to try to give a little pseudo push to that 13. 13 will clear Anasogak, and Senesac is going to try and do the same.
Senesac, Anasogak bringing it through here, go around low, clear the 88, and now we got another fight because, oh, don't go 3 wide, guys. They're going to think about it. 31, 55, 88, the 80 looking through, trying to use a little bit of the flat. 55 going to try to drift it up. Is he clear? No, the 88 taps the wall. Oh, we're not done, and they're wrecking.
Yeah, there's the 90 going around. That's Devin Johnson, and just passes the start-finish line there. We saw most of that live, and it was amazing that it took that long to wreck. But let's go check out our Hendry County Motorsports Park replay and see what happens.
So they're thinking about going 3 wide here. The 90's coming through, and it's the 88 getting smacked in the wall here that really starts it, because not clear. And actually, I don't even think the 88 really got hit in the wall, but then right there, the 90 gets hit and sent around by the 80, I believe that was.
Yes, it was.
So that is not an ideal way to have the day going.
Not at all. Now we are kind of put in that position, Brad, where the pit stop decisions become ever so difficult. Remember, we pitted around lap 25. This is our third caution, I believe, since that pit stop, in less than 20 laps. But remember, you only have 3 more sets of Dr. Feelgoods sitting behind the pit wall here. So if you pit now, you technically do have enough, but you lose strategy sets later in the race. But I think everyone realizes that, hey, this might be the time to do it. We're just going to have to make those tough decisions later in the race, and they're coming down for their second time here on the evening.
Yeah, everybody coming down. I think the problem that we're really going to land into is that if you don't pit with everyone, you have too much tire drop off and you are not competitive at all. So you're forced to pit with everybody. Otherwise, it's just an absolute disaster of a time. But the problem is, this is going to absolutely put them in trouble later. As you said, tough decisions are going to go on late in the race. I mean, I don't know. Maybe this is just me personally. I would not have pit here.
Well, yeah, you're the only one who would have made that decision. So who's right? The other 42 or you? So I guess is what that may be. But Jalen Handcamp, he did take the Brad Dalton strategy advice here, and he did remain on the circuit. That lap time, that pit time is from a prior pit stop for what he probably had some damage repair. Perhaps he will come in this time by. Perhaps not. And perhaps he will not remain in the iRacing world here. So, but he has already pit twice. We don't know if he's taken two sets of tires or not. We don't have that information. We just know that he has been to pit road twice this evening. And he probably wants to keep those extra sets on the wall as everybody else does. But what this could do, and I hope doesn't do, is create a massive stack up here on the restart, with him potentially getting some wheel spin here. Brad Slaughter pulling off well to the inside here. I don't know if he just has to let the field by for a penalty of some sort. But yeah, this could certainly be a very interesting / dangerous / uneventful restart. One of the 3 will happen whenever you have older tires to the front of a field.
Well, I mean, he's currently driving inside the pace car, so it's not going to be a boring restart, I can tell you that much. The big challenge for him is going to be just keeping everyone behind, and I almost wonder if right sides only would have been a good option for some of these guys as I look through. Definitely, it looks like Josh Parrish might have been one to take right sides only. Casey Lakatis was only in the pits for 5 seconds, so was that fuel only actually for Casey?
I think you can't do 2 tires in less than about 6.5 seconds if my vague memory is accurate. But Jalen Handcamp staying on the racetrack on those 15 lap older Goodyear tires. Let's see what happens once we get ourselves underway. Barney has the flag waving, and he'll get the jump, but now he has to turn, and that's where the problems lie on old tires.
Yeah, and here's the thing, 15 laps, that's about 3/4 of a second a lap slower, and, well, there's your pace difference right off the bat. He's going to have to try to hold someone up, do something, get in line, make a friend, and cause problems, and he's not doing that as we got a big wreck in the background, and caution's right back out as they're 3 wide up in the front. Wow. Well, that was a way to have Darlington happen.
Yeah, that was Mike Skinner, a.k.a. AJ Stravato. He was the one that was most prominently in that wreck. We'll take a look at our static turn 3 cam here. You can just kind of see all the hoopla-ing. There is 13.
Who was that red truck that ran all the way to the apron and somehow just barely avoided getting hit? I don't know who that was that got super loose off of 2 and barely avoided it. Was that the 49?
Well, let's take a gander here.
It was further up.
Lakatis really slow. That backed everybody up. 39 makes the contact. That's the 49 of Garrett Conrath. Really lucky maneuver all the way down to the inside of the track. But that all stemmed from Casey Lakatis just being slow on those older tires. But let's get it on board with Garrett Conrath and see what he saw.
Yeah, on board with Conrath here, and well, he drops low. He sends it through. I don't think he has an idea that he almost got hit there, and he brings it through. And did they start wrecking in 3? Was there a separate wreck in 3 that we missed too?
Potentially, but hopefully not. But either way, we'll see where that does go on the penalty chart, because each wreck is analyzed by admin, and it is given essentially, there's a point system. You get an incident point system for being involved at fault incidents. And if you get too many, that means you eventually can get suspended, and a whole bunch of not good, bad stuff happens. Lap number 45 incident is being deemed as a stack up. A racing incident and a stack up, and 2 incident points being allocated to the 87 truck of Jeremy Brown. So no bueno for Mr. Brown there. But again, just everyone put in a tough spot trying to funnel off of a tight corner when you have somebody running a little bit off pace.
Yeah, but it's even then, when you know someone's off pace, you still have to use a little bit of patience, a little bit of, reserved driving has to come into play. You have to know that truck's going to be a little slow, and that you have to kind of watch what you're doing. Otherwise, you're going to put yourself in a bad position. It's not the favorite thing to do, but on a track like Darlington, it's an essential skill to practice whenever you are here at this track. We're 1 to green. Pace car lights are off. And, Marin Mercurio back up front again, Corey. Marin's going to clearly have a good run. Handcamp is in 3rd with Seth Noel in 4th. I worry for Jalen Handcamp this run.
Yeah, we'll certainly see where he stands here. And we'll see where he can fall back to. Hopefully not too far back, but we'll head down the back straightaway and get going in just a matter of time. If you're bored here after the race or at work tomorrow, need a little bit of side stuff to listen to, you can listen to the High Banks podcast. Two blue collar guys, Nick and Alex, talking about NASCAR and more. Listen to episode 228 or the other ones to follow it. But 228 does have Jacob Bell available on Spotify. So that is the High Banks podcast. What is wrong with me tonight? The High Banks podcast available on Spotify. Call this restart. Go.
Corey can't talk. I can't think. This is a horrible time to come through. But lap 48 of 120, we're almost a half race distance, just 12 laps to go here as we go through the field, and Marin has to lead with Mercurio in 2nd, Noel 3rd. Jalen Handcamp might as well just tie some stones on him to send him out down the river, because he is going to just keep dropping there as Ryan Andrew is bringing it through. Jake Fisher's trying to come around. Handcamp with a wiggle off of 2 is that number 8 of Andrew gives him a bit of a bump, and 3 wide. Corey Silva going into 3. This can end well, and actually it sorts itself because Handcamp is so slow.
Yeah, they worked out. The 3 wide only lasts for a very short momentary period there, and they will get themselves back into normal 2x2, which even at Darlington 2x2 is still kind of not what you want to see, because it's just narrow track. So that is what it is. But everybody's so far fizzling themselves out up front. Marin still doing Marin things, which is running very, very quick times. Mercurio trying to hold them steady there, but you can see they're all using the bottom of the racetrack here through 3 and 4. Eventually they will work their way up. That is the ideal lane, but the grip is there early in the run. Going a little bit further back to the 11th position, Matthew Batby battling with Connor Horn. I think Horn is the passee. He will use that outside lane. 19 truck of Trey Edson trying to follow suit, getting by the 89 if the 89 can stay in existence.
Yeah, that's the big key here at this point, is stay in existence, keep going. Here we go through 3, coming around, and that 89 is going to try to hold things up there. 35 is sitting side by side with the 19 as they come off of 4. Down into 1 we go. Battles a bit further ahead of them, happening 2x2, and that 67 of Handcamp. He's just got to hold on at this point. He's along for the ride in that truck, unfortunately, as we're at lap 52. And I hate to say it, but if there's another caution, he might be the one that causes it here. He's that slow right now.
Yeah, he is, but someone who's not slow is our flagman from Hendry County. That is Travis Beckner, up 8, soon to be 9 spots on the day. That graphic only updates once per lap. So, but Beckner doing a great job working himself through the field here. Jake Nichols, who's not really having a Jake Nichols-esque day, currently running in that, he still hasn't figured out the spreadsheet. I'll deal with him for that later. But he hasn't really been a top 5 truck. Usually Jake Nichols is one that you always expect in top 5, just outside of that there in the 7th position. We'll go back. Again, mid-20s is where it's happening here today. Garrett Conrath, who evaded that last incident, he is in the 14th spot. Garrett Grant, a pretty decent run for him, higher than we've seen him run in recent weeks. He is battling for the 15th spot. Alex Chilcott, he was involved in something earlier, but he's trying to get by that 89, who is dropping faster than the stock market after a tariff announcement.
And as they go through here, bringing it around down into the turn, keep it together. I mean, everybody's having a pretty good run in their own way here. We're approaching half race distance now as they go, so everybody's doing pretty well. Man, look at the run here on Noel from Ryan Andrew down into the corner. Ryan Andrew, who still hasn't filled out the spreadsheet. I'm going to say he's 197 years old because he can't fill out a spreadsheet, but that's just an opinion that I'm going to carry through as he follows that Simrot Market Chevy Silverado, bringing it around. Oh, he's going to pass the high line. Look at that. Squeeze through, hold on to it out of 4, and have the run down the front stretch here, down into 1 and 2, side by side, passing around the outside. Not something we typically see.
Yeah, I think Noel just kind of realized, hey, may as well let him go, because at Darlington, as they always say, you race the track, you race the competitors second. As everybody kisses the fence there off of the corner. But Nichols looking a little bit further back. Timmy Pacioli, I mean, he qualified up front. We really stopped talking about it. He kind of fell back, or just kind of went into a quiet spot in the race for a little bit because he wasn't really making his presence known. But he's back up to the 6th spot and potentially looking at some more here. And as we go up front, Marin just doing Marin things. I'll pull up the lap times just for a brief moment, and you can see within about 6/100ths of a second separated our top 3 last time around. So they are running just crazy close lap times. And let's just get a look at the fall off. And we are off of about a half a second in about 15 laps since the last caution, since the last tire stop.
Here's what's interesting. Handcamp, that 67, we talked about, he stayed out last caution. He is over a second off the pace right now. Last lap, he ran a 30.9. So, I mean, he has dropped pretty considerably there, 1.2 seconds. So he's still losing time. Eventually, that tire delta will sort of neutralize for him. And, well, never mind. If he keeps hitting the wall, nothing's going to neutralize for him as he sends it through. But I will say these trucks are a lot more resilient than Cup cars are, so they can take a little bit more of a beating up there on the wall and continue to be pretty quick versus the Cup cars. You can blink at them the wrong way and they tap that wall, and it can be race over for some people.
Looking back from Noel here to a very closely tailgating number 84 of Jake Fisher. You can see just trying to get the run through 4, actually getting quite a nice run off turn number 4 is that number 1 truck, as we are now halfway here in today's Darlington 120 for the area iRacing Truck Series. So 60 more laps to go. We'll get 2 more sets of tires here on the wall. We already talked about the High Banks podcast. Let's talk about Elite Entertainment. Add some life to the party this spring with Elite Entertainment, located in Boiling Springs, South Carolina. Home track for that sponsor. Elite Entertainment provides high-quality band production to entertain at any location, including karaoke, singo, and more. And the link tree, hopefully, is in the description to get more information.
I'm 99% certain I put the link tree in the description this week. And if I didn't, well, trust me, it's there. And you didn't see anything going through side by side.
You didn't put it as a clickable link, Brad. You got to put the HTTP stuff so they can just click it. Click.
I'm pretty sure I put that there, I think.
All right, well, we'll have someone fact check us here. But Jonathan Evans, very much outlier run for him. He is typically, again, one of those guys. Obviously, everybody can't be a top 5 truck, but he is someone that is 99% of the time in that top 7, 3rd through 8th, but he is relegated back to 17th and really has not been a factor. Nice truck there. Takes you back to the Furniture Row racing days with Martin Truex Jr. Of course, they closed down after they won that championship, and I believe 2018 ? But cool little throwback for him indeed. But we'll go back further up because this is where the battles have been. Nichols closing in on Pacioli in that what's on tap Ford. That number 73 trying to find the opportunity. Where is he going to go? Is he going to go high? Is he going to go low? Is he going to follow him in his tracks? He's going to go high. Let's see if that momentum will carry over off turn 4.
Looking pretty good here off of 4. Momentum coming back, and let's see how it goes down the front stretch there. That 86 of Pacioli holding on, going through and keeping the company of Jake Nichols there in the rear. Jake Nichols not able to get the pass, but able to get that truck all the way up to that wall as they come out of 2. The big slide out of 2. I'd say that's probably the most dangerous part of this track is that slide out of 2, because you can very easily lose the truck if you don't have it under control there. It's the quickest, it's the fastest way to get around the track, but it's also the fastest way to lose your race coming through. And that 67 yet again earning his stripes out of 4 coming through, continuing to drop down, and is still trying to hold on though at least.
Now back to 20th, still only 10 seconds behind the leader, so not in any fear of going a lap down or anything at this juncture, but certainly not where he wants to be. Has those extra sets of tires in the pits. And what does that say? Got duck? It does.
It's supposed to be a got milk throwback, I'm pretty sure. Definitely it's supposed to be a got milk throwback.
If you can't figure out what driver would have ran this, then I question anything about your oval commentary skills.
Couldn't tell you.
Terry Labonte?
And it's not for a lack of trying. It's for just today specifically, I'm not figuring anything out. It's just been one of those days. Give me a break here, Corey.
All right, Thursday, if they're doing throwbacks in Xfinity, I expect you to be more on your game. I expect you to EA Sports and be in the game. But speaking of being in the game, we got a good battle here for the 8th position. Here comes the 42 of Connor Horn. Connor Horn trying to get that spot by Travis Becker, squeezing him up by the fence. They somehow remain off of it, and a big wiggle from Horn off of 2, so that move will not come into fruition, but certainly that number 42 finding some rhythm here late in the run here at Darlington. If you're wondering about the leaders, well, wonder nothing, because Marin pulling away to about a 3/4 second lead over Mercurio. Looks like we may have some lap traffic. Tyler Hallman is the first to go a lap down, but he's 26 seconds behind the leader. They will be catching him in due course.
Yeah, and that catching, it will be interesting, because here's the thing. It's one thing to catch, it's another to pass. Hopefully the lap truck will not make too much of a problem of things, but you never really know as we go through. Look at this right here. This is Andrew Noel keeping things spicy down the front stretch as they go. I see a couple trucks wiggling there out on the back on the exit of 4 to go around another truck, and well, the 8 and the 1 sort things out. Andrew Noel, they open things up as Seth Noel is trying to keep it together. That 89, that Hendry County truck number 89 there, trying to keep it moving and grooving against the 40 a bit further back. Matthew Batby trying to go to back to find a little bit of a way up the field on lap 69. Very nice.
I don't think we've showcased Doug DeNice's scheme there, that Sterling Marlin era throwback here, that number 40, get the number appropriate as well. So nice to see that here as the laps starting to tick down, and we'll pull up on our ticker now. We'll switch the number on your screen over to the stint length here. 27 laps since our last pit stop. We're 50 to go, so the fuel window certainly is in play. And now, I mean, dare I say it, this race, I'm never going to say it has green flag flair, but the odds of a caution are diminishing with each and every lap. So now you really start to have to make that decision. How late do I run it? Right now we're at about 1.5 seconds of fall off. So now that decision of when to pit, how much fresh tires do you want to have? Do you want to be the chaser? Do you want to be the chasee? All these decisions starting to be on the table here now that the window's open.
Yeah, and it's I mean, I always like to be the chaser instead of the chase. That's just me. But here's the thing, though, at Darlington, you might be better off being an early one to go in and go through. I don't know. It's such a tough call, but again, this is the good thing. I'm not the one who has to make these calls. The teams are the ones making these calls, so we'll see what they come up with as they go through. That number 60 truck looking really good, bringing things around. Alex Chilcutt with Rocky Balboa, Rocky Boyd, the number 16 Napa Know-How up ahead with the 09 behind, coming off of 4. Side by side they go. Where they stop, nobody knows, and now we head down into 1, and I think the 09 is gonna try to get the best of the 60 through 1 and 2.
Yep,
and actually does.
Yeah, he will clear now. That number 60 of Chilcutt will just fall back in line here. As again, at this point in the race, you're more worried about just not wrecking than you are anything else here. You can see Darlington, a lot of gaps. Someone's pulling all the way down to the inside, just getting out of the way. And this juncture, just a nice little train, a nice little snake of vehicles there, but that is our lead off of turn number 2 here. There's Marin, there's Mercurio. Now we have a gap back to Noel, and you can just kind of see the spacing out. Most guys separated by about probably 4 or 5 truck lengths, couple battles here and there. Somebody exiting the pits, and we'll see very quickly because he is going to have a lot of pace on the rest of the drivers, and I think that was Handcamp actually. Yes, it was.
Good decision from him, and Mason Kane, it looks like, out of the pits just now as well. So looks like green flag pit stops are in order, at least for those two. Those two, of course, stayed out last caution.
Timmy Pacioli just got his Darlington stripe out in the center of 1 and 2 there. Didn't really lose any time or positions from it, but certainly scared him a bit there. He hit the wall quite a bit last week at Rockingham, but the strategy flipped in his favor, where he somehow ended up getting a 3rd place finish out of it. I don't know if he's going to pull that one off here today, but that's Travis Beckner breathing out his neck there, trying to get that 7th spot.
Yeah, Beckner looking pretty quick here against Pacioli, trying to bring that number 28 Hendry County Motorsports truck against that 86 What's on Tap truck. And seems to be gaining a little bit. Maybe Pacioli just, again, the tire fall off is so strong here. They're almost 2 seconds a lap slower right now than they are on fresh tires as they come through. So just kind of have to watch and see what happens. Jumping back with Beckner. Beckner's about to have a pass going through there against the 5 of Garrett Grant. Or sorry, that's Evans getting past Grant.
Yep, it is. That moves Evans up to 13th. I just talked about him not having a traditional day, but trying to claw his way through the field, as that was Trey Edson just going for a Tokyo slide there off of turn number 2. Josh Ballier trying to get by in the Terry Labonte-esque vehicle, trying to get by the 09 of Bryce Sendesack through 3 and 4. That is 15th and 16th, but just going up front because I always forget the leader in these kind of races, and I always try to make it a point to not do that for obvious reasons, because Sebastian Marin just doing everything, not quite the perfect race, but as close to it as you could possibly get thus far. If this does have green flag stops, of course, that will kill that lead lap percentage there, but doing the best you can possibly do. Last time by, let's just pull up on the lap tracker. He ran a 38 to Mercurio's 50. That's almost 2/10 over the field last time by. And Mercurio, mind you, he ain't no slouch, and well, not that Marin is either. So it's to be that much faster than somebody who is as skilled as Mercurio, that's saying something.
Yeah, Sebastian Marin very clearly just has a handle on Darlington. And I will point out, looking a little bit further back in the field, most recent pit stops, Josh Parrish, Lee Norton, Jalen Handcamp, Mason Kane, and there. Josh Parrish ran a 29.9 last lap. So, I mean, you do a 29.9 versus a 31.4 for Marin last lap. I mean, that's a pace difference. But here's the thing is, they've got such a gap right now that they can afford to just keep it moving and kind of stay where they're at. So I don't anticipate Marin, Mercurio, Noel, Andrews, Nichols, Fisher, Pacioli, Beckner, Horn, etc., at all to decide to pit anytime soon. Really, it's going to be, if one person in the top 10 blinks, they're all going to blink. But until then, nobody's blinking.
Well, who is blinking here is Jake Fisher, as he's trying to get by Pacioli. Pacioli, I think he actually got by Fisher, but Fisher trying to do the crossover move here through 1 and 2, and he will not have enough steam to be able to make that pass. Pacioli will get back to the 6th spot. I think he was 6th, fell back to 7th, now he's back to 6th place. So all the while in that number 86 What's on Tap F-150, Travis Beckner throwing his hat in the ring, as is the number 16 Rocky Boyd. He's on those fresh tires as you spoke of, and now he is just going to fly through the field here And I'll tell you, it is so scary here at Darlington. 1.5 lanes of action, seeing somebody just slice through the field about 2 seconds a lap faster than you. It's hard to react to it.
Yeah, and as they go through here, I mean, it's so hard to react, but you have to. 42 into the pits.
Connor Horn.
Well, yeah, this is going to be when the pit road run starts here. It's going to be like a bank run, but a pit road run instead. Get those fresh set of tires here, lap 83.
All right, we'll keep an eye on that. Anybody looking to come down? Not at the moment, but we'll see what happens with our leader. Brian Mercurio is a fair bit back, 0.2 of a second off a lap. I mean, if he wants any chance to win outside of a caution, maybe just trying something via the pit strategy may be the best call for him. But staying on track, he has a fair gap of about 1.2 seconds to the next driver behind, who is actually Ryan Andrew. But another driver, Trey Edson, coming down to the attention of his crew. He was about in the mid-teens. So coming down with, what are we at, 35 to go? Yeah, 35 to go. That's just enough where there's still enough. I'd say anything sub 30 laps to go, you can almost go full bore. After 30 laps, you do kind of have to save the tires for that back end of the run. But I think if they pit within 30 laps, it's basically send it the whole time.
Yeah, I think the big thing that they're probably wondering, and this is just where my mind goes, is will there be a caution? You know, is that going to shake anything up? So do they want to wait for that? As we have another truck coming in here, continuing through lap 85 of 120 in the books as we come down pit lane. That's the number 60 who has decided to bring that Hendry County Motorsports truck in. Coming through, 49's going through, side-by-side action behind, and well, now we have the pit lane party starting. It's just 2, 3, 4 trucks a lap, but that's really all you need, is just a few trucks at a time. That's
Pacioli, that's Fisher, and Beckner. So that is now we're starting to have our elite company come to the attention of their pits. Marin will remain on the track, Mercurio as well. Different approaches here. Some drivers will choose to do a very aggressive move like that. Noel, that's what you got to do. Some drivers will peel off turn number 3, almost kind of treat it like a hairpin and just run the bottom the whole time. Some drivers will do what you just saw there and just peel straight off the track, but that is the faster method if you can do it successfully. If you can't do it successfully, then you may end up missing the pits entirely. Usually somebody wants a race will miss the pits here, but let's take a look. Here comes Mercurio. Here's a good opportunity to watch. Down off the banking there, drive all the way to that yellow cone at the sand barrels. It's about as smooth of a pit entry as you could ask for, and I will bet the farm that 23 is coming this time by.
I know where you live, Corey, so if you own a farm, I have more questions than answers. Is Marin is bringing it through the 60, unlapping himself there, having the 16 follow through. He's got to get down if he's pitting this time by. And no, he's going to instead eat a Darlington stripe and bring it around through 4. He's got to stay out at least another lap. Probably not ideal on 45 lap old tires at this point.
And that may be the first, the first crink in the armor there for the 23 here this evening. But luckily, as you said, the trucks can kind of deal with a stripe or two without any issue. Here comes 26 Jonathan Evans, Bryce Senesac to the attention of his crew. Casey Lacadis will stay on the track along with Jake Nichols, but here comes Marin. Can you have the lead? Just about hit the inside wall and just about locked it up. So he had a 3-second lead, but he wasn't taking any chances. He wanted to extend it, hopefully without penalty.
Yeah, he took an aggressive dive into the pits there, which, I mean, is a way to do it in his defense. That is a way to go into the pits. It's just, is it worth the risk at that point? 73 of Jake Nichols will now be leading with Anna Sogak there in second. Casey Lacadis will come through. Batby still needs to pit, and those are the only trucks I see that still need to pit. Of course, you have Handcamp, Parrish, and Kane that are on 15 lap old tires at this point-ish. And
caution!
No!
Trying to find where this caution is stemming from. I'm not finding anything blatantly obvious here, so may have to forgive us. We'll just do a little bit of a check here. Something Where is this? Who dat?
Was it Anna Sogak?
It looks
I'm going
like
back
it. It does look like it here, because again, not really any obvious triggers here, so that does sometimes make caution looking a little bit more difficult for us. We'll take a look at our turn 3 cam here.
Yeah, I'm trying to look through and see on my side if I see
it is the
anything.
88. Yep. There we go. Take a look here off of turn number 2 from our static shot. Yeah, contact there from, can't quite make out who that is. I don't know why I can't find Sogak here on my sheet. Here he is. We'll get one more look at it, and then we will jump back to live footage. You can see here in the rear, there is a driver on fresh tires. That's the 84 Jake Fisher. This is old tires, new tires, and running out of space here at Darlington.
Oh, that's a hard
Travis
hit for Anna Sogak, too.
Oh, Ryan Andrew. He made some wall contact with the inside, but that puts us under caution, and this should get very interesting, to say it generically, because we're going to have a few guys who were all genuinely on the lead lap. Marin, Nichols, Horn, Lakatis. I think they were genuinely on the lead lap. Everybody else is going to be a wave around driver. So that means they cannot pit this time by. They have to remain on the racetrack. They will cycle out ahead of the leader right now being scored as Sebastian Marin. So all of these drivers in front of Marin right now, they are staying out. Upon 1 to green, they will get sent around the pace car and gain 1 lap back. But however, they will have older tires in the process.
Oh, this is such a mess that has popped up. That's the only way I know to say it. What a weird turn of events, because look at how far back he is.
So that's 4 trucks. Marin, Nichols, Lakatis, and Horn, the only 4 who were genuinely on the lead lap. Matthew Batby is, going around full song here, trying to catch up, as is the rest of the field. I don't know if admin's going to give him an extra lap or not, because this is going to be one hoopla of a restart. We're just now coming into turn 3 now, and you could see even in the back of the shot, we don't have anybody. They might give them 1 to green, or this might just be a very chaotic restart. Hopefully by the time they get to 4, they're all caught up.
Well, admin are usually really good about making these calls, so let's see what happens here as they come through. But they are also trying to review. We're going. Everybody's just now catching up, and well, this is going to shake things up quite a bit. Let's see how this goes here, coming across the line. Just 2 trucks side by side. Everybody else single file across the line we go. And as everyone else is just now catching up, Barney waves the green flag there, and we are underway. And man, I could go for a double burger tray right now as we come into 1 and 2, and Marin will retain the lead.
Marin will retain the lead, and this will certainly space things out. And when things are spaced out, well, actually, look at that in the back of the field. I would retort that maybe they're not spaced out. We'll go back and look at everything going on mid-pack in the mid-teens and 20s. That's where the older tires were catching up to the newer tires, and the wave arounds were catching up to the guys on the lead lap. They all kind of met together at the very, very last moment there. Here we are up front, Connor Horn. This probably worked out the best for him. He gained about 4 positions. If he doesn't get wrecked here off of Batby, gets a stripe off turn number 2. Here comes Noel looking for 3 abreast, entering 3. So Horn goes from being in the best position back to where he started, back to where he was running about in the 7th spot.
And watch Mercurio here bringing it through as he's right behind Seth Noel coming around. And that 89 of Batby is going to try to hold around the high line as we go 2 by 2 here for 4th place, bringing it around. And they will settle it in just barely clear. Mercurio bringing it around. This very, very skilled eNASCAR driver for Coast to Coast, bringing it through here and holding on right behind Noel. Noel topping the wall down the straightaway into 3. And now we come through. They settle it in single foul here. And Batby for the moment will take off away from Noel Mercurio and Connor Horn.
Now Connor Horn, again, I was just saying he was in 4th. That was highest he's been, but that situation of that little kerfuffle did not put him there. But Casey Lakatis, I mean, let's just talk about him for a couple seconds here. Remember, he was a part of one of the cautions indirectly via strategy, but then he stayed out, and just that's what you pray for when you stay out like that. You pray for the perfectly timed caution, and he got it. And is he having some business going for the second position right now? And this is not to roast Casey at all. I mean, mind you, he's someone who's basically in the mid-30s all the time. So I'm not roasting his talent or his skill or anything like that, but, you know, not someone you expect to be challenging Jake Nichols for the second position.
Casey Lukaitis has not had the best races all season. I will say that for him. In his defense, I mean, not ideal, but not horrible as we see him coming through and going around. Look at this, challenging for second place. He's got victory fuel on the back of that truck, and I think he wants to taste victory fuel here today. He's currently tied for P30 in points as it stands. No top fives, no top tens, no wins. Currently only 97 points on the season. This would be a huge points haul for him here in this run if he can get it done.
And we're closing in on 20 laps to go. Just about 10 minutes of green flag action remain here in the area. Trucks 120 lapper, round number 7 here at the Darlington Raceway. Corey Silva in the booth and in the truck with Brad Dalton, giving you guys all the calls here in a very, very interesting race. And still interesting because they're still trying to wreck. That's Travis Beckner. He had worked his way into the top 10, but the strategy now has him outside of it there. There goes the number 35, Danny Ware, looking to the inside of that number 28, Hendry County Motorsports racetrack truck there, but he'll fall back into line. Going a little bit further up, Ryan Andrew. He was battling with somebody there, but he has since gained the spot. I think that was Jordan Kuntz here, but up front, we still have Sebastian Marin doing Sebastian Marin things. I've made that verbiage up in a couple other leagues, but when you have a driver who just dominates week in and week out, basically it just becomes his race to lose every week, it feels like.
Yeah, between him and Mercurio, that's really where it stands here in the Truck Series as they go through. And no surprise there to be found. Brian Mercurio, Peyton Howell even, you want to put in that mix as they go through and continue around and bring it through. We're on board here with the What's on Tap truck with 609 Motorsports number 42 just ahead. Connor Horn, Pacioli looking low, getting a little bit of room, a little bit of a run, but just not enough to get the nose in there. And now he has to settle it back in and go through, and well, now he's going to try to get the nose in there through 1 and 2 if he can, but it's close, and he might get the pass done here out of the corner.
That inside lane is just very hard to keep that thing wound up, to keep that thing where you want it to be. Everyone getting loose off the corner there, and they'll get by the number 80 truck. That's Gabe Herschel, 3 laps in arrears. Going a little bit further back, Travis Beckner, he has been one to watch. He has been in an exciting battle for a lot of this race as they will all squeeze by Herschel here. I think Herschel will go all the way onto the flat, respectfully so. Danny Ware getting inside Jordan Kuntz in that number 99. This is all outside the top 10, but you wouldn't know it by how hard they're racing for it. And Brian Mercurio working his way up to the 6th spot. Remember, he was on that bad end of the strategy call, trying to gain as much of that position back as he can.
Yeah, and I got to wonder if Mercurio and Noel are kind of just going to partner up here and try to work together through these final 16 laps to gain up on Batby, or if at some point Mercurio is going to have to just sort of say, you know what, I can't afford to wait on you, Noel, and go past him. His time is really starting to run out here at this point, so if he's going to get the pass done, he needs to do it sooner rather than later. As we jump back here with Connor Horn, who has Pacioli for company, who has Fisher for company. Two of those coast-to-coast trucks trying to get past Connor Horn in the 609 truck.
Yeah, Connor Horn got himself another stripe off turn number 2 as everyone getting slideways off of turn number 4, and you can see Pacioli is just ready to pounce. And you can see on board here, just watch them hands here as he's trying to find what to do. He's going to try to get a run off the corner. And Horn will get a little bit loose. Will Pacioli take a dive to the inside? He will. Now, what will he do with it? Will he do the Darlington dive? He will not do that. He'll try to get the bite in that middle lane, and Horn will help him out by getting a stripe to the center of the corner. That'll allow Pacioli to clear, and Jake Fisher tried to open up and take advantage of the opportunity, but he has to fall back in line.
Yeah, falling back in line there. Very wise decision as we go through 14 laps to go here in Darlington. And I tell you what, watch up front because that gap up front is 0.6 of a second right now, Corey. Starting to close in on half a second. I think Jake Nichols has maybe saved a little bit here to get to the end of this race. He might be trying to have a late race run with 14 laps to go here, 13 laps after they cross the line. He's not scoring faster, but the gap has come down a little bit, so
hold on.
I kind of want what's going to happen.
He's running slower, but the lap time is closing. On what planet does that math work?
It was closing, and then that one lap in particular, when we cut to him, it opened, okay? It's one lap in particular.
I was going to say, are you Cyborg Brad from Planet Neptar? I don't know where that math works out, but that was a little bit freaky there, but we are closing in on 10.
You're welcome.
We are closing in on 10 laps to go, and I am just doing my admin work here in the background as a lead commentator here. The only thing that we have yet to talk about outside of our victory lane interview is the shop.areairacing.com website. Race fans visit shop.areairacing.com to get the high-quality merchandise that area provides at low prices. Shop on over 100 selections of t-shirts, hats, champion brand clothing, and more area accessories. Easy to shop, quicker to ship, and better to wear. Shop.areairacing.com. And again, if you are watching on Twitch and you subscribe, you do it enough months in a row, you'll get yourself some free merch sent to you via that subscription model.
11 laps to go here. Battle still continuing. The 84 Jake Fisher still trying to chase down Conrath. Has Ryan Andrew, who was running up in the front for a bit. He's P12 after that just absolutely chaotic green flag caution that came out of nowhere and hasn't been able to catch up since. With 10 laps to go now, Corey. A little bit of a wiggle there in the background from several trucks really coming off of 4. This is going to be a close one to the end in several positions as the 65 just eats the wall for breakfast, lunch, dinner, and dessert.
That's Ben Pierce in that 65 getting more than Darlington stripe. That's more of a insert clever joke here that I just don't have here at the present moment. Garrett Conrath, he has got himself back into the top 10. Remember, he had a couple interesting moves to evade wrecks at one point or another in the race, right to the back bumper of Connor Horn, who I was just praising on how well he's done, and starting to fall back here. But someone to still praise is not Connor Horn, because he said to the fence that opens the door for Garrett Conrath. I guess you could go up front, and Casey Lakatos trying his hardest to keep himself on the podium. Now, Casey Lakatos, if we get an interview with him, that would be fabulous. But if you're Casey Lakatos, you have the PTR TV logo on the truck, so obviously we're biased. We want to talk to you after this race. But if you're Casey, put this thing home in the top 10, man. You're getting Batby, you're getting Noel, you're getting Mercario, Pacioli. You're going to get them on you. Well, not Pacioli per se, but you're going to get 3 guys hungry on your tail. Don't butcher this trying to put that truck higher than it needs to be, and we'll scratch that, and it's Connor Horn.
Oh, that is the horrible place to sit too.
Commentator's curse. Let's see what happened.
What happened to him?
He done got turned. He done got scented.
Well, that truck is going in the scrap heap. Look at that. Hits the back, hits the nose. I mean, that thing is going to be so out of square. It's not funny.
It's going to be so out of square, it's in a circle, right?
Yeah, basically. There we go. Or an octagon. I don't know. Yeah. We'll see there. 42.
49 went low and then kind of merged back into the racing line and just merged a little bit too close to the likes of Mr. Horn. So that takes his run of being in the top 10 all day and throws it in the garbage can. But that puts us in a spot where we're basically not going to have quite overtime, but we're going to be right on the cusp of it, and we're going to have a really important pit stop. Everyone has the tires, so there shouldn't really be anybody that's forced to make any decisions. Everybody will just be able to take 4 tires of fuel, and Marin backs up. Is that going to amount to him losing the lead here in the pit cycle?
I was going to say Casey Lakatis, do not mess up your pit stop, but very clearly Sebastian Marin is the one that I needed to give a little bit of a warning to, as Lakatis will come out. It looks like possibly, they squeeze it 4 wide out of the pits, and I think Lakatis just barely makes his way through the number 50.
Hold the phone
It'll
here.
be behind Noel.
Now, Connor, are you... No, he's pitting. I was going to say, you gonna
Okay.
if he wrecked the truck and then stayed out, that would be something of note here. But once Connor Horn pits, I'll pull back on the screen the pit stop graphic because Connor was kind of skewing it. But he is pitting this time by, and this will give us a perspective of how long everyone was in the pits, which allows us to infer what kind of service they had done to their cars, to their trucks rather. And you can see Connor's fallen back, 1 to go, and that's 2 tires from Mercurio, 2 tires from Pacioli, and then 4 tires from everybody else. Lakatis obviously at the bad end of that stick. He falls back to 6th. I mean, Mercurio, Pacioli, if there's going to be 2 trucks on 2 tires, I would have the most confidence in them two to be able to do it the right way and not get wheel spin, not spin out due to unexpected handling.
I know what's on tap is very often in our YouTube viewership, watching, commentating. I would avert your eyes for a little bit because this is going to be, this is going to be interesting for those top 2 trucks. Mercurio, Pacioli, this is coast to coast. You got 2 strong drivers up front, but Corey, the tires are just, it's that much of a difference. But who knows, with a 4-lap shootout, track position could prove king, but Marin wants the win. I want Lakatis to be in the top 3. Hold your breath here because it's 4 laps to the end, and Corey, I don't know how this goes.
Well, I don't either, but the 82 and the 86 on the older tires, and there we are in the Geico restart zone, and let's get ourselves underway. Good run from the 82, and watch those fresh tires in row number 2 trying to work themselves through the field. That's going to be the number 86 falling back. Here comes off of turn number 2. Marin's going high, Marin's going low. He's going really low as Mercurio tries to throw the block.
And Mercurio driving him all the way down, bringing him back up. He knew he had to do something to try to hold him off, but he doesn't have the grip to drop him. Same with Pacioli there in 4th now. They just don't have the grip to compete. 3 to go. Sebastian Marin will be your leader, scored across the line. The 73 of Jake Nichols holding it in 3rd, and it's only a matter of time, I feel, before Nichols gets past there. Really, the one to watch now is Pacioli. See if Batby and Lakatis can get through as we continue around. Everybody has taken the gloves off here, Corey. There's no saving it. There's no need to worry. Just get the truck to the end or fight your way forward or crash it. That's where everyone's at right now mentally.
Pacioli is fighting on those older tires. I saw the hands just slicing and dicing. Here goes Lakatis by Lakatis. Couldn't get that run on the bottom and falls back into the top of the racetrack. Gets the 26 slowed up. And who is that? That's Mercurio. We're wrecking. We're jumped down the back. We stay green. Everybody stays straight. And because of that, we don't get a yellow. And we are racing about 1,000 feet to the start finish.
And white flag comes out. Next flag ends it. White flag from Barney is taken by Sebastian Marin with over a 2nd lead. And that just absolutely mixed up the field everywhere from Mercurio having that big slide off of 2. But, I mean, Corey, what can you say about Marin? It's been almost a picture-perfect day.
Yeah, I mean, that's just, he led essentially every possible lap that he had the capability to lead. And had the pace 2/10 over Mercurio and just tamed the lady in black. The number 23 of Sebastian Marin comes off the final corner and wins on throwback night. Marin tames the Darlington Raceway for another win. We got Nichols in 2nd, Batby, Pacioli, and Conrath. And you have to feel for Casey Lakatis. He is going to have to settle for about a 19th place run after what just happened. Man. You have to feel for him.
And it's no fault of his own. That's the thing, too, is that's the nature of racing, though. You can have a really good night, be running well, and then something happens somewhere, and it absolutely mix things up. We'll get a PTR TV Hendry County Motorsports Park replay coming up.
We'll find something here. I mean, there's a lot to watch here, so you just have to forgive me because I don't even know where to start on any of this. There's Mercari. Yeah, there it is. And see that. Yeah, we'll try one more quick second here before we start our post-race show here. Let's go up to the top down. You can see how Mercario is just losing all grip. And is that contact from Ryan Andrew? Oh, the 26 into the fence. And then there they all go. There's the 84 round. There's Garrett Grant. Huge hit by Jonathan Evans.
Just scrap all those trucks, man. Don't even put them in the hauler. Just leave them on the side of the track. Let Talladega tweet about them.
Yeah, but there goes the Polish victory lap by Sebastian Marin, and our congratulations go to him. But while he goes on and does that, let's go ahead and go over our rundown of results here today from the Darlington Raceway. Getting that race win by about 1 second is Sebastian Marin over Jake Nichols. Batby, all the issues he had today, he gets himself on the podium. Fourth, Garrett Conrath. Pacioli gets a top 5. Seth Noel in 6. Danny Ware, Ryan Andrew, and Brian Mercurio after that little faux pas gets a 9th. Jordan Kuntz in the 99 finishes in 10th.
Going on from there, we're going to go down to P11, and P11 was Jalen Handcamp when it was all said and done. Alternate pit strategy and maybe a little bit of luck paying off there. Doug DeNice, P12, and then it was Jeremy Brown, P13. Trey Edson in 14th, Joshua Ballet. Rocky Balboa, Rocky Boyd the 3rd in P16. Garrett Grant in 17th. Josh Parrish 18th, and Casey Lakatis. PTR TV truck brings it home P19. Mason Kane brings it home in 20.
21st through 30th finds Alex Chilcutt. Travis Beckner falls all the way back due to everything. Jake Fisher caught in the mess. Sanasak in 24th. John Evans, we saw him have those issues on the back straightaway as well. Lee Norton, Connor Horn, you got a feel for him as well. He should have had a top 10 run. Herschel, Johnson, and Pierce, and then we'll just let the rest of them scroll on by. Anna Sowiak being a one. Philip Groner never was really at the show here today. Peyton Howell, this will hurt him in the points. Tanner Love, and then the final page of results. But we'll head straight to Victory Circle. I will do the honors here and talk to Mr. Marin here. All right, Sebastian Corey up in the booth. You just did everything that you normally do, man. You dominate the race, but they didn't make it easy on you. The ill-timed cautions, the strategy calls at the end, and you still managed to persevere and put it in victory lane here at Darlington, man.
Yes, sir. Wow. Yeah, those last couple laps were real nerve-wracking, like you said. Got that untimely yellow that you kind of have to expect, right? So came in, pitted. I made a mistake. I slid my box. I thought I threw the race. And with those trucks taking 2 tires and me cycling out behind Nichols on the second truck on 4, it worked out because Mercurio was the leader and he picked the top, so obviously I could roll into his start. So I got to second basically immediately, and at that point, I mean, I knew if I just got one lap or just one corner, 4 tires were gonna beat 2. I think at that point he was just banking on yellows or something to happen. But yeah, what a just a great race. Obviously got a great restart in the initial start to take the lead from Brian, and then after that it was just pace myself, right? There's no need for me to push harder than the people behind me, and that's what I did, and luckily it worked out. But boy, the racing gods were trying to take it away from me.
Yeah, I mean, races like today, man, they get out there very stressful to call. There's situations that we notice in these kind of races. You have an onslaught of cautions to start the race off, and then it goes green, and you have to think in your mind, is this going to be the run that goes green? I don't want to be out on the old tires when it runs 50, 60 laps. What do you do in the mindset of when you start getting those cautions, lap 10, lap 15, lap 20? How do you know, all right, I should pit this time?
Yeah, that's a good question. It's mainly looking how many tire sets we have, right? And then try to divide the tire sets to the laps that you have in the race. And then knowing if you can make it on fuel to the end. Because if I felt like I couldn't make it to the end on fuel, I was thinking about staying out, but every time that the yellow came out, we were running 20 laps apiece. And that's enough on the tires that even if the top doesn't stay out, if we get 25 laps, the people on tires are just going to blow my doors off. So I didn't want to pit that lap 40-something caution, but I knew with how many laps on the tires there were, I had to pit. I knew we weren't going to make it on fuel, so that was the only think that I felt good at, that only one truck stayed out and nobody could make it on fuel. So as long as I got back to the lead, I was just gonna drive away, do my thing, and then wait for people behind me to pit. Obviously, I had built a pretty good gap, so I could react to them. And then after that, we got lucky with that yellow during green flag cycles. I think I beat Nichols by like a second to the pit exit line. And that was the reason I ended up cycling back to the lead. And it was just that close. So, yeah, it all depends on when the yellows come out, if you can make it to the end on fuel, and how many tire sets you have in the race. So everything just worked out.
You made the right calls, man, and I'm sure we'll see you on Thursday, see if you can do the week sweep. So, well, at least from our perspective anyway. So congrats, and we'll see you Thursday.
Yes, sir. Thank you. That's the plan.
All right, and then Brad has caught up with Jake Nichols, who kind of pulls off a second place out of nowhere tonight. Brad? All right, Brad ran away. Oh, there he is.
I can't remember how to.
Wait, hold on. There's a Talladega billboard at Darlington. Anyways, go on.
Anyways, yeah, no. Started 8th, finished 2nd, Jake. It was a very wild race. Kind of talk me through your night.
Well, I felt like we had good mid to long run pace early in the race. We just, every time we'd start coming in and we'd get a caution and slowly moved up. I didn't feel like we had winning pace. I felt like 3rd or 2nd was really our spot if we got to the track position up front. Oh man, I wish I never catch the cautions when I need them, and then I finally caught it. It was just a few seconds too early because I wasn't pitting that time by. I was going to go another lap or two, and we would have trapped Sebastian a lap down. He probably would have he would have had the wave and still had pretty fresh tires, but it still would have put him behind the ball a little bit. But I mean, we'll take it. It's so frustrating. I'm usually the guy that has the worst pit stops, but I had a good one on the last pit stop there under caution, and Sebastian made a mistake, and instantly I was like, oh, I got him. This is our race. And then I realized the two teammates, Timmy and Brian, took 2, and I was so sad because I knew it was probably going to get away, and especially once I saw Brian take the top on the restart, I just knew it was over, and I just had to make do and try to get a second. And thankfully, we got good team points, and obviously good points in general. You like to see those. But man, felt like we could have got that one.
Yeah, man, it was a good run to kind of watch you go through, battle through. Kind of tell me about that caution during the green flag pit stops. Did that catch you off guard at all?
I mean, kind of, but there's weird things at Darlington. Yesterday we went green forever and ever, and we didn't really have that caution during the cycle to ruin it or to change the race. But and it worked out for me last night, getting the win with that. And I kind of felt like we might get one because of the speed difference, because there was a lot of fall off, and with how these trucks handled, I don't know what caused the yellow, but I kind of felt like there was a chance. So I didn't want to go too far, but I did want to be on the different strat because I knew I wasn't going to win just pitting at the same time as those guys. And honestly, I was just win first mentality in that scenario, and it gave us a shot with the yellow. It just wasn't quite enough.
Man, it was fun to watch, though, I'm going to be honest. And how are you and the whole team feeling about next week going over to Chicagoland?
I don't remember how I ran there before and if we ran trucks there last season, but we've always had really good pace there across the board. So, and I know Seth is pretty good there too. So hopefully we can come out and have a good solid team points night, and Philip can have some better luck. It's been up and down for him. He'll go 1 week crash early, and then the next do pretty good, and then crash early, and really none of his doing. So hopefully that'll turn around. We'll have Jeremy back next week as well, and maybe get a win for 609 next time.
Absolutely, man. It was fun to watch. Jake, congratulations on getting up to second place, and hopefully next week you can find yourself a win.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks.
Of course, our victory interviews here today brought to you by Victory Fuel. Celebrate tonight's win with Victory Fuel. Choose from caffeine-free flavors like Throttle Punch, Purple Potion, or Lucky Lemon. Each can packed with electrolytes charged with vitamins and kid-friendly. You can get 10% off your order with code AREA iRacing at checkout. Victory Fuel. Last but not least here, we have Matthew Batby in the third spot here this evening. Matt, you had a very chaotic day up and down the field more times than we can count. Into the fence, car blinking out of the track, and through all the hoopla, you got yourself a podium, man. How do you summarize tonight up?
Yeah, it's been a crazy night. I mean, we were running in the top 10 most of the night. We had good speed, raw pace at least. But then with all the blinking issues and then entering 3 and getting rear end a little bit, but yeah, falling back through the pack, and then I decided to stay out, which was an epic idea. So yeah, that was definitely an up and down night, but I'll come away with a P3, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the strategies here, the caution that came out during the green flag cycle, and then at the very end, we, a couple guys taking the 2, and then everyone just kind of working their way through, seeing if we'd go into overtime. What was your mentality on that final restart? Knowing what was at play, knowing that there was guys on 2 tires up front, what were you going for in those last 3 laps? What was the plan?
I knew there was a couple of guys with 2 up in front of me, so I was just trying to get by them at least, I knew Jake was fast and Seb was fast, so I was just trying to make quick work of them and get through it. So, I mean, it worked out. I think it played out pretty well.
Exactly that. Anytime it puts you on the podium, cannot complain about it, man. So congrats on getting the solid run for the Hendry County Motorsports Park guys on the truck there, and we'll see what you can do next time.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
All right, so that'll wrap things up here today with our post-race show, Area Truck Series Round 7. What would it be without some crazy strategy, interesting cautions, and but at the end of the day, the Dominator dominates again.
Yeah, for real, man. Crazy race all the way through, Corey. It was a lot of fun, though, and they kind of said it was very different to how it was yesterday in the Cup Series. It makes me wonder when we get to the Pro Series on Thursday night what that race is going to bring. As we get a Darlington sign at Darlington now. It's very nice to see that through. But got one more race this week here at Darlington for area, and then things move on to Chicago.
Yeah, I just Darlington iRacing did an art update here, and I've already caught like 5 things that they didn't update. But anyways, this is another broadcast. Make sure you like, share, comment, subscribe. If you're on YouTube, help us out. We're at 1,600 subscribers or so. We can need some help to get to 1,700. If you're on Facebook, make sure you hit the like button. If you're on Twitch, hit the follow button. Consider doing the subscription for $5 a month. Get your custom emotes and earn yourself some area merch. Stay tuned till tomorrow night, and we'll be live with the Elbows Out Racing Series, their multi-class road racing, and we will be back on Thursday here as well for some oval action right here at the Darlington Raceway with the Florida Estate Builders Pro Series. But this is going to be Corey and Brad signing out of the booth. Have a great night, and we'll catch you next time.
See you.